Welcome to Oxygen Global. Today, 12 December 2024. We are running a session to attend to the following items. With me, I've got 5 attendees. Nzaka, welcome. Dylan, welcome. Rito, welcome. And Xavier, welcome. The items I want us to attend to is number 1, your problems on coding. Xavier has already indicated the problem of wallet connection. Coxylib makes it easy and fast to connect your website to Cardano blockchain. You will see. But the second item I want to show you how we are implementing Coxylib and Helios in tokenization of the property industry. So it's one use case. There are so many other tokenization use cases I want you to think and come up with, and then start developing on them. And then we need them to give people in Cardano coding and open source as many different examples as we can. Right, number 3 is I'm going to distribute some tasks for you, and then I want this to be done and the work done submitted daily. You submit this to Rito. It must be a text file with your name and date. What are you generally working on? For example, I'm working on documentation. Today, what did you do? This is what I did, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then submit that as a text file. So Rito's job is to be collecting daily from you guys, whatever you are doing. If a day skips and you have not submitted anything, we are going to assume you didn't do anything. Right. Exclude in your submissions things like I was learning, I was practicing this, I was trying that. We don't count that. We count the output. Right. I created this, then you submit that. If it's in a folder, because some of you are working with VS Code, they are working with other different tools. We want whatever folder you have, you compress it, zip it, you upload it on we use this for uploading. Let me just show you coxylib.co upload. Is it right? I don't see it here. Let me use Jimba. I think this one here. Upload it here.
So please don't forget to share your screens.
Yeah. Let me share now that link. We keep that link for now. Later on, I'm going to change that domain, Jimba, to coxygen.com and have that tool for uploading. You just zip your work in a folder with a name and date and what you are doing, upload it there. And then you send. Rito has got access to that. Rito, you can be downloading it per person. I want from today 12 till around 20 to get 8 different submissions from every one of you so that I give you something for Christmas. Right, let me share now. Right, you can see my screen now. Right, the next thing is which areas am I looking at? I'm not looking at you having this whole property solution now. It is too big and it has various different areas, the on-chain, off-chain, it has the database, MySQL, PHP, and then it has the front side, then there is interpolation of the server side with the JavaScript, with the HTML side. It's not having order. Okay, the whole point is we are just running after adding a feature that we want to see to run. Then later on, we are going to refactor, systematize it, put it in order, and then create different files, optimize it. That will be the later part. So that is why you are going after later on. When I'm happy all these things are there, then I'm going to, we clean it up, make it, add up your documentation, put it in one folder, then zip it. Then we are going to upload it here. We always upload our work here where it says WIMS.io, then Coxygen. So this link is your always go to, especially when you want to see the latest uploaded code. So the code you can get from this GitHub, it's WIMS.io, which is our website for Cardano, WIMS.io website. This is the general one. And then on the GitHub, then you put a stroke and add Coxygen, because Coxygen is a project, funded project of this community, which is running globally. It's not only for South Africa people, it's for everyone, everywhere. Indians, Germans, Americans, everywhere. Everyone. This is for everyone. I'm also being helped by everyone globally. We are using Christian library Helios, not library, programming, JavaScript, Cardano smart contract programming language Helios. So this is the, I upload it here under Coxylib. So I will always upload a zipped document here. It will be like this one, but it will have the latest date. One nice thing about I give free hosting cPanel accounts to everyone here. If you don't have it here, at some point ask Rito. Rito is going to contact me, then I will create one for you. Then you can check with Rito how to upload your stuff. If you can upload your stuff daily on folders that are named the way I am doing it, then it's going to be fine. Let me not go there now because I'm on this side. But let me carry on with today's task. I want you to focus on bugs and then focus on testing, focus on features. Right here is the link for the Cardano property solutions.co. It is a demo. It is a demo, what we call a MVP, minimum viable project. So that minimum viable project, it must, in a realistic sense, implement Cardano connection, Cardano smart contract development on a real world use case. Right, if you look at, if you go to the website right now, there are three buttons on top: login, register, admin. I'm going to go through all of them so that you have a picture of the whole thing. Let us start with the admin. But before I start, let me check if I left anything. I didn't leave anything out. Okay. Yes, I mustn't skip your problems. Xavier, you pinpointed that you have a problem connecting to your wallet. Okay. I'm going to show you here my connection to my wallet. The first thing that you must check that your browser has a wallet. I prefer Nami. We have been using it. It works very well for development testing. Then check that this is enabled. That is the first check. Then the second thing, once it's enabled, you will see it here. Again, I don't know what browser you are using. I'm using Chrome. So I'm going to suggest what I'm telling you now and showing you now it is applicable with Chrome. Which version of Chrome? Probably the latest version is going to work. Right. The second point to check is go to your wallet and check which accounts. If you've got more than one account, I've got several accounts I use for different testing. Sometimes I get errors when I move to another account and I try to run the app, it fails because maybe that account has no test header. Sometimes the message doesn't come out to tell you exactly there is no test header, which is a bug. You're supposed to tell people your wallet is not connected. Your wallet does not have test header. Your wallet is on a wrong network. So check another part here about which network your wallet has been set. Go to settings, click that icon, go to settings, and then there is a network menu there. Open it. Make sure that you are on the pre-production. I'm not testing with the preview. It works with the preview, but I'm mostly testing with the production. You will use the mainnet once you have deployed your app and you want people to run it in production. We are on the testnet mode now. So check this part. Also check this collateral. So you can go. Also check here whitelisted sites. Sometimes you might be running a website which your browser is blocked. So make sure that your website is whitelisted there. And then check on the general settings here. Here normally you don't check anything. Right, this is here now there is a button which says become a beta partner. I've never checked this on NAMI. Explore it and let me know what this allows us to do. Right, once you have set your account, sometimes it will require you to set collateral. So where is the collateral button? When you click the icon, which is the menu part of this wallet, and you go down, you've got add new account, skip that one. The next one is connected to a wallet, skip that one. Then you will see here is the link for the collateral. So when you click on it, you see for me I didn't set it up. It says the recommended collateral is this. You enter a password, then it is going take 5 test header and use it as a collateral. With the latest Helios library I'm using, it is working without me setting up the collateral. It is doing it for us. So that is what I'm going to request you, Xavier, to try out. Did you follow up with my explanations?
Yes, sir. Actually, I Miss Rido about the same issue. She tried using her own wallet. I believe it has all these settings because I had already done this most of the settings you just highlighted, sir, the preprod network and the testnet. Although I've not really done the collateral, but when I shared the link with Miss Rido and she tried connecting, it was like once you normally when you run it, it connects automatically, but it keeps giving an error connection
Okay.
field.
Now,
I don't really know
I
what's.
get your explanation that you are sure most of these settings are done. So now let's go to the next part, the function, the Helios function. Right here, I'm going to move to this so that you see how it's connected and where to check it. This one is slightly different from your FTP account projects that you are running because this one is on the property that I've shown you. But the connection is the same. I've got a JS file here, and then it is linked. If you go to the it is to the website. In this case here, it is in different sections. So I know the section is upper, which has got the links, the CSS links, the JS links. So I have linked it here using a script tag. You need to make sure you add type equals module. And then let's open this file app. This is the file here. Now this first part, all of you just copy and paste this first part. The first part here, this one is for importing Jimba. And make sure that your Jimba.js a testing library, it is in a folder JS. So I have this folder here, JS. Here is this Jimba part. Then the next thing is the coxylib. Right, I'm going to tell you the coxylib is not a new library from Helios. It is a set of functions that are wrapping around the functionality of Helios. That is why when you've got your Helios on top and the bigger classes that you see there, this goes to the top. Under it, you've got the Helios, coxylib. So on the coxylib now, you need these functions because all it's all about is automation. We simply call, for example, I want to show you, I want to connect my website here to the NAMI. The first thing is to connect to the NAMI. This does it on its own. The moment you put these things here and you run your, let me show you the code. You see this code here, the init function, initialization of this, it does everything under the hood for you. You will see it because you will need to be putting the j.log. What is a j.log? It is a wrapper and an upgrade of the console log. Do not use the console log. Use the j.log. And the j.log requires an object. So here is your variable. The variable is in a what we call it, those object, a bracket. If you take out these brackets like the console log, then you fall back into a normal console log. Then it won't give you the name of that W. It will just dump whatever information it has. Then it is up to you to hunt for where that information belongs to. But when you put those object brackets for the W, then what it does, it makes this W first as a name. It is handy when it comes to tracing when your program is running. Let me show you here. So when I come here and I start looking at my execution, you will see then here it tells me started. You can see here I've got this C window, which is a Cardano window object. It is injected here. This is working, so the connection is fine when I see here. But where is this? This is inside that init on the coxylib side. Don't need to worry about it. The moment you see it here, see window here has got these functions of the Cardano. All these are Cardano functions. This is the API, the browser API. Right. Here is the C window. You can, sorry, here is the W that ij.logged. So it did a test that it is not null, it passed. And then it now tells me what wallet I'm connected to. I'm connected to NAMI. The moment you see this, then you know everything is fine. So here is a troubleshooting for you. Run your first part with all these things below removed. Remove everything like this. Have your this part here, import this, you copy paste this part. Just copy it, paste it there. The second thing is, well, this is not important for you. I'm just doing something different. Then only write one line to solve the problem of your wallet browser app connection and integration. Line is init. Call that function init. And then you can put J. Sometimes it runs even if you don't put J, because J is declared above. You can just test it. It won't throw an error even if you leave out J, because J is declared above. Oh, it throws an error. We forced it to be there, which is not a problem. So let's leave it then inside. It is this J that is here we are putting in. And then inside there is internal testing of every step execution variables that are there. Right, it is a promise. Init is a promise. So always put this await to block it until it has the result, so that we know the value of W. If the await is skipped, then it will run and doesn't wait for the result. Then it will display W as null. So this will tell you that you are connected or not. And then you will be connected. That is all what I can say, how you can go ahead to further check this. So when you run, then I see here the W, the wallet is there. If you suspect your wallet has an issue, then use another wallet. Let me go to the internal wallet. I've switched the wallet now. So when I switch the wallet now, I'm trying to see if that function is working fine. Let me go back, sorry. Let me run this and reload this part. So it should now tell me the wallet that is enabled on my browser is eternal as opposed to NAMI. Right, let me start a new tab. So let's go. There you can see now. If I suspect it is to do with Chrome browser that I'm using, then use another browser. Go to Firefox, enter your link, that one. Check your console. Let me go to the console here. Here on the console, check. Then run it. And then you will check the started. There, the Cardano window is undefined. Do you see now? There is no Cardano wallet installed on this browser. If it is disabled. So you can see the W is now. Then you can go there and enable it if it is installed. You can see here it's not installed. So that is a one good troubleshooting steps. Use this browser, change the browser, use this account, change the account, use this wallet, change the wallet. Please, these are skills you should always practice. Don't sit and say, this doesn't work, it's useless. Then you wait for the next lesson. Then contact someone, work as a team, help each other to find the problem together. because the problem will not always be caused by one variable. It will be caused by several. In this case, look, on my Chrome, I've switched, and this one is installed, but is not enabled on this app. On this app here, on the init side, it is not enabled. I have to sign to enable it. It must not on its own, the NAMI or whatever wallet is installed on the browser, on its own, it must not immediately start working. That is the security risk. I must give it the permission. So that is why when I run here, it will pop up. Let's see, you saw it popping it up. Let me run it again. You'll see. Right, you can see there, it has popped up and it's requesting my permission for this eternal to be injected onto the Chrome browser so that it can start working. And I grant it access. So when I grant it access, look here now, the wallet is working. So what I have said and done now, it helps clarify and even give you further information about the troubleshooting of Cardano wallet connection. It's not a big issue. Coxlib quickens it, makes it very fast. Okay, let me turn back to the problems. Xavier, I hope that it is going to help you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll try it out, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Right. I just clicked the wrong tab by mistake and then this restarted. I need questions on what I have shown you. Do I have any more questions from you people?
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Yes.
Yes, I can see that Coxlib is like an off-chain I don't know, like I think Coxlib is how is it working with Helios? Because Helios is also built from JavaScript, and Coxlib is I don't know the relationship. And is Coxlib working as a replacement of something like mesh in building transactions off chain?
Two questions. The first one is, how is Coxlib working with Helios? The second one, how does it compare to other programming languages like Mesh? Right. Mesh is a front-side Cardano programming language which is integrated with a React framework called, you've got React framework. React framework was created from JavaScript. It is a Facebook library framework. And then from it, you have got a Mesh JS library. It quickens, it makes, simplifies the React framework. So Mesh is using a framework which simplifies the React framework, right? So that one on its own, it's a front-side Cardano JavaScript-based what we call language. It's not a language as such, it's a framework. That is what I can tell you, because it is using React simplified to do that. Take Mesh.js versus Helios. Don't compare Mesh.js with Coxlib. Compare Mesh.js with Helios. Helios is similar to Mesh, but Helios is a standalone 100% front side, zero dependence. With Helios, you compile your script into a SIPO, into binary. And then with Helios, then you connect on the same project, the off-chain. And then it will do all these off-chain transaction building steps, evaluation, then compile. Then at the same time with this Helios, it will then submit it to the blockchain. How is it that possible? Now, I don't want to go into those details because they are even more complicated. But that is why Helios, for me, is best for beginners. Everyone knows JavaScript. Now, what about Mesh? Mesh has the same concept of making development for beginners, and not only for beginners, those developers who don't want a lot of problems with setup, with dependencies, what it quickens development also. The nice thing about Mesh, it has got pre-built components that are tied up with React. That's why that user interface is a little bit nicer to use and it's quicker. Just use those components. They come built in with the React components at the same time with the Cardano API. They are also is built in. It has got the React hooks, so it has state management. Everything is there. Now let's come to the Coxy. The Helios, let me show you the Helios. You can see my screen. Right, let me go back here. Here is the project. You can see here, the Helios I have here, it's a 1.2 megabyte file. It has everything. Everything, even the classes for compiling and for evaluating. Now, when you go inside the Helios, you have got all those classes and library components that Mesh developed separately and bundled them with a what you call a front side component library React. Helios there is all about the functionality. You can build your own React front end. So here comes Coxy now. Coxy takes the features like, for example, I just want to connect to the wallet. Then it takes up all those components that are needed to be, what to call it, declared, run, to connect to the wallet, and creates a function called initialization in it. Why? So that you as a developer don't need even to worry about how this thing works. All what you need to, I have a wallet, it's on the pre-production, and then I simply call the function. It is imported here. There it is. All these are functions that are wrappers around. They automate the use of Helios. With this now, we are able to do very quick things. For example, on this, let me show you, for example, on this part here, we have done the connection. Now, if we go to the, let me go to the, where I'm displaying this part here. If you look at this, it is running and displaying. You see here, I haven't logged in. When I run, it will detect I have not logged in. I'm not a registered user in this platform, but my wallet is connected to the right network and it is allowed to run on this app. That is why it immediately pulls out my balance. Tells me I'm on Nami wallet, pulls out my balance, and then it even pulls out my wallet address. That is good. All these UTXOs that gives me this balance. This is done by calling 2-3 functions. I called a function init that gives me this. Then I called a function, this one that you see here, called get balance. You'll see here, get header. So I can show you there is function there, get header. Only I call get header. Then I take that to the UI where on the component, HTML component or tag that I want to display. Then I display the header. That's why you see that header there. Then here I want to show the address of my wallet so that I'm very sure this thing is connected to my wallet. Then I call the next function, this one address func, which is a shortcut for address function, which means give me address. I want later on, guys, we need to rewrite these names and make them even user friendly. Let it be a get wallet address. Okay, it will get the first one, it will get the base address, not the change address, because remember, on the wallet there are so many other addresses. With this only get address func line, this word only, then I'm able to get this. So all those steps for Helios, for you to get that, they have been shortened, wrapped around, then there is that function. I want you also to think of other features that are left out on the Coxie and wrap them around from Helios, then extend that Helios library so that it has more and more functions. Then in future, we are going to see which functions are doing same job. Then we merge them, we abstract, make it more efficient. So that is how I can explain that part about the Helios. The Helios library is a wrapper around, the Coxie library is a wrapper around Helios classes. Now, why am I not using those classes? Then it means you have got more steps for doing one thing. You will have to do a lot of checks using these Helios. Let me just open up this library so that you see it. All right, there it is. Okay, this one is the wrong one, sorry. That one is a changed one. Let me open this one. There it is. Even when it opens this library from the top, you see Christian Smith. There is the email, you can contact him. There is where the website is. Which version am I using? 0.16. There is a latest version, 0.17, which is better. Everything is there. Now, if for example here, I want to know a class called address, what are the functions in address? So that I can get the best address out of it. You can check here, it's very easy to use. So you see, when I say address, class address, it takes me straight to this exported class. There is an explanation here how this works. What does the constructor need? There it is. Then from here you can see there's a static function, clean constructor arguments, and then you've got the constructor here. You can see it takes a byte or a batch 32 string. That constructor there. Then you've got some other functions that it has, from props, dummy, or dump, I don't know, bytes, to SIBO, that is binary, concise binary object representation, from batch 32, which means if I have got a wallet address like the one I showed you there, I give it to this, I get a Cardano address. That is a Helios address. It's more a little bit complicated if we go it this route. But if we go it the Coxlip way, you don't need to worry about that. You can only worry about it if it keeps breaking. Then you can raise, come to us, tell us the bug, then we fix. So I've answered your two questions to clarify the issue of mesh. It's not only we do not only have mesh JS, we have got also other front side libraries. I think some of you have used them, have seen them. There are so many that are there. Some of them are even Python. They are not even JavaScript. They are Python, C Sharp. They are there. But in this case, this one, from my judgment, and since May, it has managed to get students, new people, quickly connect to a website within 10 minutes. Right. Any other question to all of you? Let me come back to you for questions.
Yeah, like I understand it now. I understand it now. And yeah, and the like I know like Helios compiles to UPLC from like it has no dependencies, and so
Yes.
yeah, so I understand Coxilib now. So yeah, I think it would be it would be very useful for new developers. You know,
Yes.
JavaScript
Definitely.
is like a popular JavaScript is a popular language now. So I don't still know why people are not in the Cardano are not into Helios, but like they are into Aiken right now. But
Yes.
then we'll see how things
Let
go.
me clarify Aiken versus Helios. Right. Aiken is an on-chain programming language. Aiken does what Haskell Bluetooth does. Haskell Bluetooth has got the on-chain and off-chain. Aiken does the on-chain. There are other libraries that also do the on-chain. After finishing the on-chain, they compile that on-chain. Then now you will need to look for another language for the front side. There comes Lucid or Lucid Evolution. They can adopt others develop their own front end of chain part to work with this one. I can tell you another library, Cooper. Cooper has created an off-chain declarative off-chain part. At the same time, within that Cooper IDE, you have got the on-chain script compilation into SIP/JSON object. Now, here is the beauty about Helios. I did not come to Helios by mistake. I started with Bluetooth Haskell for almost a year and a half. So there was a long journey in setup, a long journey with the deployment, and during that time, 2022, we could not even connect to the testnet direct. We had to connect even to an emulator. That is why we're using mostly an emulator for a testnet. They are still using it there. It works, it makes things faster. But you are not really interacting with the blockchain like this one. Then with Helios, so that you see the easy part, I've got one, like in this case, I've got this project here. This is a PHP project for property. All these are front side and back side for property. Normally creating a property website. That is all about it. But now I want to add Web3 functionality and features of the immutable Cardano blockchain. All what I did here is to copy this folder here, add the Helios inside, then add the Coxlip inside, then add the Jimba. The Jimba is the one that is testing, showing you the test, running the test, and also the console log and the log and tracing. Then from there, you have got this file here. then you import what you need. And then from there, you call the functions. Then it runs. But what about creating smart contracts? Because we are here for smart contracts. We are not here only for displaying wallet addresses, sending and receiving data only. No, we are only here to create complex smart contracts. Like, for example, the smart contract you created here for this property. Where is it? So I'll show you. I've got a folder here where I put the smart contract scripts. Then there are two here. There is this one here. All these ones are different smart contracts I have created. For this property, these are the different smart contracts that I have. Like, for example, let me show you this one. This one is for minting the NFTs the property will need. It's very interesting when you see it live. What this does, it means, here is the logic. It will mint, like I'm showing you, it will mint an NFT. Why? Because I forced it to make sure that there is only one token. The moment it's one, it's an NFT. And here is the policy for it. It is there. Right. How then do I wire it up? How do we wire this up with the actual coxi lib?
Mr. Splendor,
Yes.
can you cut the recording? I think it's an hour now.
Oh, yes, it has gone over an hour. All right, let me show you this, then we cut the recording, then we begin another one where we do the practicals. Thanks, Dilo. So when you go to the app here, I'm going to go down to where I want to use a smart contract. So let's say I want to buy. I'm going to show you the buy part. You see, I'm commenting out the update part. I'm commenting out the cancel because I've got these functions here, update, cancel. I have put them in one place, one button here that you see. At the moment when I run, because I'm not logged in, there's one button which says buy property. And it is calling this. Let me go to this part here. It is calling this basically. When I click that buy, it calls this. So this is what I want to show you, how Coxlib simplifies development. You only call this buy. This buy is a function in the Coxlib, right? And you only give it one parameter, one argument, which is a script that is going to use. This script is called buy sell.
Is this script connected to the alias?
Yes, let me show
That's
you
by.
the script. Yes, I'll show you how it's connected.
Okay, you've imported it. Okay.
I have imported it. You see, it is under property. There it is. Let me show you the actual script. When you see a bigger picture, you'll be able to even re-engineer this and make it better. So there is the script. This is the on-chain script. But how do I know before I use this script that it has no bugs, that it is running fine? There is a playground for you to use. If you go to Helios Playground, copy this, go to Helios Playground. There it is here. This is a browser-based tool. You don't need to install anything. I already have so many of them. I've been testing them. You will see this buy sell is already here. Buy sell cancel is here. Or you can test it on a different new script. Created a new script. Then you click there. Then from here, I paste that script. You can create it from here. Then compile it. This checks that there are no errors. The moment you click here and it doesn't compile, it means maybe it's taking long to run, but doesn't show an error. Let me show you the one that compiles. This one compiles. If it doesn't compile, it will show you exactly where there is an error. Take out this, test it. Do you see that? There is an error there. And it tells you
Mm.
exactly where the error is, exactly where I made it. This is where I made the error. Now I've corrected the error. Then I run compile. Then it doesn't show that error. Then it will show you share, which means it has compiled properly.
Mm.
So here you just write your script, test for on-chain bugs. See, like this one, it will say share. Then it has compiled. It means now it has no what we call runtime, what we call it, runtime bugs that pertain to the syntactical bugs, where those are bugs by violating the rules, the syntax rules of the Helios compiler. So if it does this, then it is fine. Then you bring it this side where I have shown you. Let me come this side. There it is. You import it. Now, when you import it and give it to this function here, you don't need even to think, how does the buy use this? Then you need to go to the coxlib part. Then
Mm.
inspect. Then you are going to see how this buy asset function in the coxlib is bundled together. Then it's going to compile this. After compiling this, it's going to check the parameters, the types, and then check the variables for the on-chain that everything is fine. It will push everything and build the transaction steps from there, and then send it to a function called finalize, tx.finalize, which is going to calculate all the cost, the transaction fees, the collateral, inputs, balance the inputs versus out. It does a lot of complicated things, but you don't see it
Mm.
here. You simply call buy asset, and then from there you save, you run it. Right, I click buy. Let me just show you this site so that you see when I click buy what happens. Here I am. Then I click buy. There it is. You see, it is running and getting to this where it says undefined. Then to debug it now, there is the coxlib. It is saying this part here is undefined. Right. This is caused by I have this buy asset is calling up these values which are supposed to be, what is the price? How many of these am I buying? So where am I getting this from? These are the variables that are saved locally that you need to specify under buy asset. They are on this part here. Do you see this object here? This will tell
Yes.
me, all right, who is the seller of what I am buying? How many of these am I buying? So I need to supply this object which has got all these inputs into this as the second parameter here. You are going to learn how to build this when you work with it more. Right, I'm getting this string here. MPH is not defined. Sometimes when you are buying something that is already oversold, you get these bugs. These are the bugs that I want to fix. If you see here what I'm selling according to what I have here, I've got the property has got 70 shares. I've been testing it with different accounts. Now, how do I get to buy something that somebody has not sold? Where is the first step? That is what I'm going to show you. On the next section, I'm going to start as an administrator. As an administrator there, we select one property that has no what token cells. Then we are going to mint the tokens for the property. And then from there, once we have minted it as an administrator, those essential tokens are going to identify the marketplace. They are going to identify the thread token so that you do not have two houses being sold and then, you know what, how do I identify that I'm buying the correct token of this particular house? You need an identifier. That token is there, is thread token. Then at the same time, how do we know that here in South Africa or in Nigeria where we are buying that property is not being sold to other platforms? So we need to go to the property registry and check, is this house really on this website only? So that if I buy shares here, I don't buy shares that don't exist because other people have already bought the property. It is the country registry office that does that reconciliation on the conveyance lawyers. So, or your lawyers or your agents, they will go and check there on that registry. Who is the actual owner? Is it on sale? Has it been bought? Or it's fraud? That is why we need that NFT for the registry to make sure that if that NFT is there, it means that property is only on this platform for sale. It has got what we call a registration, a unique number. Every property in a country has got a unique number. In South Africa, we call it RF number. Once you've got RF number of a property in South Africa, you will always know who sold it, who is the owner correctly without. So that is why we need that. Then from there, we are going to see, now as an agent, I'm having this house, or as an owner of a house. Now I want to sell the house via tokenization. Now it is me now. I go ahead, then I mint tokens. I take the value of my property, then decide if I want to make it cheap, I create more tokens. If I want to make it standard, I create a little bit fewer tokens and raise the price, depending on who you are targeting. Are you targeting dense population, lower income? Are you targeting middle income? Are you targeting high-end people who can afford? Then you mint your tokens. The moment you mint your tokens, these are what you are going to see populated. There are some bugs that I want you to look into so that we fix them. Then from there, we will come back here, get a user who just connects and sees this marketplace. The person is just going to buy now. How many are bought? Then we must see these sliders that you see here, showing tokens on sale, showing that you can see here total tokens left is minus 70. Probably that is the reason why I'm having those errors. How many tokens have been bought? There are some bugs here. We can verify all this by going to the actual on-chain explorer to actually see the what we call the script address, the address where all the tokens are logged. And we can actually see the metadata of who owns this house, how many total shares are there. So that is why we have got this transaction, the policy ID. So you click this policy ID, takes you straight to the explorer. And on the explorer there, just look at here. You can see the metadata. You can see there it is. This is the property for sale. And it is using SIP 68 standard. That is one benefit that comes with this Coxie Lab. If you don't know about SIP, Cardano Improvement Proposal, number 68, that creates standards for tokens. This helps you because it creates it automatically for you. You can see that name there. It is 333. That is a user token. The 100, when you mint, it is a what? A reference token. So there it is. You can see here I've got total of them, 540 on this NFT. So you can view and check the transactions that have been part and parcel of this. There they are. You can see this green part here. It is for the inline datum. And when you click that inline datum, you can check and see what is inside or what is not inside. There it is. All right, so that is the part of our next session. We'll go step by step again and then cut it after 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes. Right, thank you. Let's take a 5 minutes break. Meanwhile, let me just stop the recording for this one. Welcome to the second session of CoxLab on CoxLab tokenization on the property industry. This is CoxLab Global. Today is December 12, 2024. Right, this second session, first I'm going to take you through the following steps on this demo. The first one is number 1. We are going to mint essential tokens. These tokens are like the thread token, which is the thread NFT. Right, the thread NFT will identify the market because on the blockchain we've got different activities there. We need to identify our own market, a specific market. Then we are going to mint, like I said before, the registry office NFT. The presence of that NFT, it means the property sale is legit in that country because the registry office ensures that one property is sold correctly without double sales or fraud happening around. It resolves those issues. If you take out the registry office, which gives the registry number for every property in a country, in South Africa it's called ERF number, that identifies a property, then we are going to have situations whereby a single property can be sold to more than one person at the same time. That's fraud. Then another NFT that I saw, which we need, is a reference NFT. Then for you to understand what a reference NFT or token is, you need to read SIP 16, SIP 68. So that is the standard we are following there, upgradable tokens. But the second part is going to be, we will have owners. Now, once we have got a marketplace running, owners of the houses, they are going to do the following. They are going to mint shares for sale. And these shares for sale are no longer NFTs. They are fungible tokens. They are tokens. You will see the difference when we are doing that. And then the next part, once these have been done, still the house owners have to send their shares in batches to the smart contract. They have to sell their shares in batches because then it allows them. They put the first batch maybe at a certain price. They see how the market goes. Then they can later on upgrade the prices or reduce the prices and then sell in a second batch. So that is how I have designed it. It's not like we can do it like that where you mint straight all the tokens straight onto the script, smart contract script, lock it there. Then people buy there. The type of buying that is happening here on this one here is atomic. Buyers are not sending money to the smart contract. There is a security risk if that smart contract value, because it's public, everyone can check the smart contract address and see the deposit people are selling there. Let's say it is a huge amount, then it can be hacked. What happens now if that money is hacked? Then the security risk. What about those who are already holding those shares? And then the owner of the house has not received the money, or the money has been hacked on the smart contract. So a better security way is, if I'm buying shares of a house monitored by the registry office, I send the money straight to the owner of the house, and then I get my shares. When I don't want my shares tomorrow, then I go online and I sell them. Whoever buys those shares again owns that portion of the house and property. And then the registry office is the arbiter, is the referee on this marketplace. That is what I want you to see. So this next step here, 2.2, is owners sell shares. So what does this mean? It means now from their own wallet where those shares are after minting, then they have now to sell them to send them to the smart contract in batches. If they want to send everything, they can send everything. So you'll see it happening. Right, number 3, then we are going to get to the public now. Try to see the following: the public buying. That is what I want to see happening. Number 3, public buying. Then number 4, we want to revert back to the owners. What do the owners do? Later on, they can now update prices of the house. That is why we are using SIP 68. We want to see that. Or they can cancel the sale. What happens when they cancel the sale? Cancel. When they cancel and some shares have already been bought, those that are holding those shares, they can't be forced to release them. No. As long as that property is on tokenization, the registry office in any country is there to force it that this one cannot be sold unless you get all the shares back to one person. Then that person can move the house out of tokenization. So there is a bit of reliance on central authorities, and then later on decentralized atomic cells. You are going to see that. Please, I need your input a lot. I need you to think. Bring in other cases that here to bring security to make it really work. Because we want to get this worldwide, to sell this whole, what you call it, technology. So they can update, they can cancel. If they cancel, those tokens that are remaining that have not been bought, then they will be moved back to the owner. So we want to see the following conditions. Whoever is selling is the owner of the house, has a right to cancel, has a right to update, and can even have a right to go back and buy. But remember, when the owner is buying, the money gets back to the owner so that those tokens move. So basically what the owner can do, can cancel. Cancel, then the tokens come to you. But what about if you realize I put too much tokens and they are going very fast and because they are cheap, then I want to prevent that. Then I want to reduce the quantity of tokens so that later on I can resell them at a higher price because I didn't anticipate that this thing was going to be bullish. This is where now, instead of them canceling, when they cancel everything, gets back to them. But they can still cancel and then sell again another batch. But they can also go in and buy. For them, the money goes back into their wallet and they get the tokens. Because the smart contract only knows the owner's wallet address. Let's do this practically, step by step. So I'm sharing. Yes, I'm sharing. Let me go step by step. So the first situation that I'm going to do, I want you also to see the database part. Right on the database part, the schema, I've got a token details. This one here is the structure. This is the information about the minted tokens, the details about the token. You can see it there, the token name, the token policy MPH, and then the index, the transaction ID, the quantity, who is the owner. This owner PK is the owner. Here also I've got the script address, page 32 of the owner. And then I've added this part, is very important to identify each token transaction on blockchain. So we are also going to give this here, keep it here off chain, so that later on maybe we can compare the off chain, the on chain from Explorer versus the database. Right. So I'm going to empty this. Let's empty this. Can just quickly empty it. We start from 0. So now there are no tokens. Then at the same time, there is another one here, 2 tables actually for now. This one is for token sales. So this one also we can empty it. This will track the sales, tokens sold, tokens bought, tokens cancelled, like that. Let's step by step make sure that these, what you call it, application properties, they hold. Okay. So there is another one which I'm not using. So those ones are the ones that I'm using now. Right, I'm using PHP as a server-side scripting. You can use Python, you can use C++, you can use C#, whatever. It works. So the scripting part, you can use C#.NET, C#, whatever, or whatever language you can use. It works. The nice part with the cPanel gives you the different languages. So if you go to the cPanel part, for every script that you have, there are different languages you can run, depending on your shared hosting. You can see here, this is for JavaScript, you can run Go. These are different server-side languages that you can have. That is the easy part of the shared hosting, which is the most popular. All right, so in this case, for me, I'm on this part. Let me start. I have cleaned the database. So which means now when I start the previous blockchain transactions, we are not going to use them. I'm also using local storage. Let me also go to the console here. I want you to see everything so that you can assist. On the local storage, we also keep those ones there. So let me delete it. So it's there. So you will see later on I'll come here, show you some of the part information. That will be this side. All right, so let me log in as an administrator. Okay, so this is the administrator part. You can see the states, the dashboard. This is the normal website dashboard we all know. And then this side, you've got all those sections, authentication, users. And then you can see the different types of users here. Right. What I like again about this is not using a framework. I am running away from frameworks a lot. So right, now let's start. I need to create 3 reference tokens. I've got the thread token here. Let's step by step create it. So you can see here, are you sure you want to mint the property thread token? So yes. Right, it says script for minting is not defined. Remember, I commented out this stuff here. So I need to uncomment them because now I'm using different smart contracts. That is that message, what it is saying. I think doing it this way, getting more errors for me is good because you are going to then see how to go about resolving them. So that was the error, this error, that what it was saying, that it cannot access the script. So let me save. I've saved. Let me run it again. Right, let me mint this NFT. So let's go. Okay, there you can see, let's see the details here. What am I minting? You can see there is the contract, smart contract address. This is the smart contract address. I am minting one asset. There you can see the asset I am minting. You can see the name is a little bit difficult to read. This is how I found it on the SIP68. Right. Then this is the thread token. This is the policy. This identifies this on the blockchain. This is the asset name. So this is the metadata. You can see the metadata. It is, look at this name, asset name. And it tells you the purpose of this. This is a property, the asset type. It's an NFT. So here you can see this is not only going to have the token minted, the metadata about that NFT is also going to be created. So let's do that. Right, it has been a success. I can check 2, 3 different areas. You can check your wallet. You can see here we got a transaction ID and a link that we can click and go and see. You can go to our database here, go to token details. We now have got ID 36, a new NFT, quantity 1. And then you can see here what is the status of this market. This identifies the market. So I have opened a new market now. So this new market for selling properties will be controlled by this NFT, which is ID on the database number 36. Right, there is the date and time. There is the thread token. What about on-chain? So let's go to the on-chain part by clicking this part here. There, it worked. You can see 50 seconds ago. Epoch 185, block 2.9 million. Let's go down. What do you see? You can see there's this, I don't know what shape is that. That yellow, that shows it's a smart contract. There is the smart contract address ending R3VMK. It has got an inline datum. You see that green icon there? It's an inline datum. Then you can see there I have minted a property thread token and it is attached to that script address. This is not on my wallet here. I'm minting with this account WIMS. It is not here. So if we check, okay, I minted before, so that is why you see it there. But now what you are going to see, this is going to change to number 2 on my wallet. No, but not on my wallet. At first I was minting on the wallet. Then I decided, no, let me move mint straight and lock it on a script. So this is on a script. Right, so let me move on. Some other things about the metadata. You see there is a metadata here. Right, there it is. You can see the details is there on chain. So I'm going to move on with where we were and mint the next one. Let me reload. Please write your questions down. I'm not going to allow you to give questions. They will interrupt me until I have finished those at least 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. Or even up to number 4. So that from there, write down all your questions and observations. Then we go to a reference token. Right, what does this reference token do? This one identifies the shares, that the share that I've bought for that particular house really belongs to this house. I can have shares for house A, shares for house B, shares for house C. So how are all these different house sales differentiated? Using that what you call reference token. We have to go deeper into SIP68 to understand reference token and user token. So let's have that one. I called it property share token. Right here, I'm going to show you this asset details. There it is. It's different from the thread. Maybe you can say, how is it different? The name here, this one, is 100. But this 100 is a byte. If you convert text to, is it hexadecimal or to bytes? It will give you that number. You will see it's 100. Let's go. I'll find this one. Just like the thread token, it is there. We can click this one. It will open a different script, not the same script like the one you saw before. So you will see this information is here. This shows that our back end, MySQL and PHP, is working. Then let's go to the third one, which we need. If we can have even more than 3 essential, what you call it, NFTs for adding security as per need of your contract. Right, let me mint this one. There you can see here. Sure, I want to mint register office token. So we have it. And then now the name, okay, this one also, the thread, the reference, and the registry trophy, they are NFTs. So their label by its part is 100. Okay, let me not explain that. You will see this. See, that first part is similar to what you saw before because they are all labeled 100. Right. This one is a success again. If you want to inspect this one, we can check the Explorer. But when you run your Explorer and it displays this, it is because your transaction has not been mined or validated by the validators or the miners. It is at a place called pool, mempool. So after some time when it's mined, it will reflect when you reload. See that now it is there. So the similar token. But you see now, this one's a registry office token. But we have done the first part, which is this one. Number one, we have minted the essential, I call them essential tokens. Trade token, registry office token, reference token. They can be more than 3, depending on your needs. So now we are going to number 2. Right, number 2 is there is a market, there is a registry ID for the sale. Now, anyone with a house can enter this market and sell. Behind, immediately they are selling behind. They are going to have all those references attached to their sales. Let's start first by minting the shares per house. Right, what I'm going to do now, let me get back to the house market sale here. So I'm going to reload this. You can see it says administrator log in. So if I go back here, it's fine. So now, maybe if I logged out, I need to log out. Okay. Now let me log in as an agent, a person who is going to sell the house. So I've already some people who are selling houses here. If you go to the property listing, there are 3 of them. They've listed about 6 houses. Normal listing you are used to, except that this one now is a tokenized market. So it has got all these decentralized items that we need. But apart from that, if you click each house, the details are normal like all other property sales apps that we have there. You cannot sell a house if you are not registered. Okay, that is where now you need to register. But I have people who are registered here. Let me go to James. Got 3 of them there. Then James. Let me run. Let me log in. Right, there we are. So let's check the listing for James. You can see they are all 00000 because number one, each house is no tokens. They have not been minted. Number two, if they have been minted, they have not been logged on the smart contract, this smart contract. Let's do that. We are going to do those 2. The first thing, I am James. I go to my account, my properties here. Right, I've got 2 properties. There is already a bug. Please write that bug down. I noted it. When I mint for one house, the shares, remember the houses have got different prices. This one is a different price to this one, which is 3 million. The bug that I have already noted here is when I mint for this house or for this house, then I see this one is 4 million, this one is 3 million. I see the same shares are distributed among my tokens. This is a bug that I need to fix. Please write it down because I'm going to ask you to submit the bugs and features that you see. I need it written down because sometimes I forget. So this one is the minted tokens on properties. They will be the same. You'll see when I mint, it's supposed to be on the first one. This one, like for example, this mint is for number 3, which is 3 million. Sometimes you'll see it appearing on this one. Okay, let's mint. Now this part here, again, I need to enable it. I haven't separated the functionalities. Let me comment out that part. So let's go out to the one for minting. Okay, here is for minting and penning. That one is all right. This is for minting and penning. All right. Let's get back to this one. I've clicked 3 times. The mint button is affected. Okay, let me. Oh, there is a message here. It is saying properties of a null. The token name. Let's check it here. Right. The reference token name is needed. Let me try one more time. So let's fix it. It shouldn't take us long to fix this part here. And it will help you also see where this is. Here we need, this is for the metadata. It is saying this reference token name is not available. Right, I'll show you where it is. This is where we are. So what I need here, I need this reference token. It is saying it is not available here. So let us look at this object here, this one here, which is supposed to come from the local storage. First troubleshooting is check the JLog. Let's check this one here. Right, I don't see it here on the JLog. Oh yeah, there it is. You can see it is telling me that the reference token is null. But we can check here under the local storage. That is what caused it to be null. It is pulling out that reference token details from the local storage. What I did is I disabled it saving to local storage because now it can save that information straight onto the database. So instead of retrieving it from this side, it must retrieve the token reference token details from the database. Okay, let us go to the function call on the app here. Right, we are getting this information from that side. So what should happen here? We should get this information about the reference token from the database for it to work. Right, there is a function here that pulls out the information from the database. So let's look for that information here. Right, when this feature loads, let's go to this file here, the feature file. And then load from that page. let us load, PHP has got a very quick way of loading the details from the database. It's very easy and quick. So we can use this to load that information here. So here we are getting all information of the property, which is fine. So for us to load the information of the token, we can use this part here. Then we do our SQL. First, let us load all information about property details. So which one am I referencing? This one, token details. So this is going to go and load all the token details and bring them here. Now let us check the row. Fetch. We are going to have so many rows here. So I'm going to select the first one, say limit 1. But in this case, remember there are 3 rows. So it's going to select 1 row. And then let's see that row that it is loading here. PHP, like all languages, it has a print function. Here it says print R for row, like that. So let me run it here from this side. Okay, this is the information about the token. So we have got 2 of them. You can see it is actually giving us information about their house. Alright, that is the wrong database. So token details. Let's go back. That one is loading information about a house. That is wrong. I made a mistake here on the raw part. It is showing me the information about the other row, this one. So I want this information about the token details. Okay, I'll show you. There we go. So now you can see we still have got information about the house. I didn't change this part here, this one. If you are new to PHP, the underscore is just making this variable different. There's one thing here I want you to be careful with. The PHP is an imperative language. It's not a functional programming language. We will need to upgrade this imperative programming style because there's a lot of state mutation into a functional programming style. So this time now we must get details about the token. I'm still getting details about the house. The nice part with this one, you can then go straight to the database and test your query. Why is it giving me information about the house? You see here, I'm supposed to get this information, not of a house. The problem is here. My SQL I fetch array. I'm fetching it from a wrong result set. I'm supposed to fetch it from this result set. Should work now. Now it has worked. You can see I've got three. I've got the first one. I've got actually this one here with this information. So we've got it number 14. There it is, this one. Let me now use this information, because this information now has got the information we need concerning the example. Let me go to the hex name. There is the hex name. This is what we need to supply to the owner of the house to mint the token, so that they have a reference to the policy of this reference and thread. Right, so how do we then do that? It's very simple with PHP. We have the information here. We can simply, let me check here. I've got the ID, this information, this information. So what I'm going to do now, I'll just show you the first part, then pause and do the rest so that it doesn't take long. It can take several steps. So I've got this here. Let me create another control there. Input type hidden. I can make it text so that we can see it from the front, but we can make it hidden because this is going to hold the information that we are going to pass to the function that is going to mint. So the ID for this one is mph. Then the value, okay. This value here is of the column that I want in this list here. Yeah. So the column that I want that is needed there is the token hex name. If you want to see it, you only change this one to what? Text. So let me run it. Let's test it here. Right, where is it? There it is. There it is. There is the token hex name. Let's go to the next one here. What else do we need? So what we need is determined by this. Let's go to where we are minting tokens. Mint pen, these are NFTs. We are here because we are minting user tokens. This is where we are. Right. So let me show you what we need. We need this information here. This one we have, address we have, this we have, this we have, this we have. It begins to have a problem here. This is where we need this information. So instead of getting it from the local here, which is this one, we are going to get it now from that element that I have created, HTML element, which I called MP. So I say const mph right. Okay, so that one is value. Then we add below mph. So I'm going to collect all of them because there is one, the policy, the next, the name. So I can collect these from here. It will come straight here. So the token name, let me start with this one, token name. It is coming from the element token name. So let me make the first one here, this one, the token name. But the ID part, I'm going to call it the token name. But from the database, it's called token hex name because it is in a hexadecimal format, not in UTF-8, UTF, the normal characters that we see. So let us have a second one for the minting policy. We are going to need third one for the transaction ID. So this one is going to be for the MPH. We have to check that this MPH is a field that exists in the database. There it is. Then the transaction ID, TX ID. The next one, TX ID. Then the next one is the index. For now, I have four of them. This number one, this number one, number two MPH, this one. Right, let us also do the same on the other side. On the JavaScript side, we are receiving those from the elements here. So I already have got the MPH. I need the index and the transaction ID. So this one is the TX ID. And then the next one is the index. What I prefer when you are naming a value on all different areas, on chain, backend, database, on the controls, use the same name. For example, MPH here. If you go to the database, it's MPH. If you go to the PHP or to this front side, the name of the control is MPH. If you go to the PHP field, MPH. But however, you see this one, it brings in a problem that I want to discourage. Here I've called the token name, but this side I called it token hex name. Sometimes I call it token name hex. So it's better to standardize. So how do I do that? I move this to this part. This side is standard because it goes hand in hand with this one here. Then let me save. Then let me move to the JavaScript side. Then here, instead of creating this variable of this type, let me use this. Then when I go down to the metadata, which is this one, the metadata. The metadata, remember, we custom create this. So we can change it and then call this part the value which is here. We are declaring above. It will quicken you finding bugs. It will eliminate a lot of bugs if you do like that. Standardize the way you name values across different areas. So when I come here, you see this is fine, and this is the index part. Then deep down here, the index is a field of an object that I've deleted. So it will be like this. So I need to remove this object and have these straight. This is the property ID, which is this one. Each property has got an ID. In this case, I haven't minted. We have got the properties from here. So this is the PID, the property IDs. So let's go back. And then time. All right, smart contracts have got execution time. In this case, I'm not going to be fussy about the deadline for minting or whatever. No. We relax that part. We are going to attend to it later. Let's cross-check these other areas before we go back and do the image, the URL, all this data must be there. So I hope this now, it fixes that error that we saw. Let me reload. And then let me check as I click the console what other problems come. All right, you can see this is showing here because this part here is text. Normally it's hidden. These are hidden controls for the DOM, HTML DOM. A lot of what I'm doing now is Web 2 stuff. It's not Web 3. The Web 3 will come when we start minting, when it is running the mint, this part. Let me click it again. So in this case, I just said I'm going to mint 300. And each price is 1. So if you multiply 100 times this, it gives us 30,000. But in that case, it's 3 million, which means the price per share will make it 1,000. So let's mint. Right. Let's go. I cannot read the property of a null. The side, yeah. Yes. Now you can see we have to correct this part here. This ref token.id. We need just to say UI ID, this part. So which means these other parts that we had have been fixed. Also here, we need to fix this. But there were several areas where we were using this. So it means I have to go down, fix them. Like in this case now, it's MPH. One way to remove this, you can use find and replace. Use of find and replace sometimes is a problem. Can introduce a bug that can be a huge, can take more time to fix. Alright, so that is where we were facing the errors. Remember, I'm using this down here again, so I need to fix it. Let me go down and check. Right, I'm going to run this and follow those errors that I see here. Right, let me log in again. Let me run this. So here is a network issue. Some of these problems come from different areas. Sometimes your network becomes very slow. Sometimes your PC becomes very hot. Like in this case, there is a delay in the running of that. So I can check. It's a network issue. It will be the same here. See, it's not a network issue. It's a browser threads. So some of those threads are running too much. That is why on this other one it's running very quick. To solve such a problem, sometimes is to close some of the tabs that are open that we are not using. I'm not using this, so I close it because it's delaying a bit here. So let's get back to where we are. Yes. So let's proceed now. Let's go to the account, your property. Like I said, this is hard-coded. So in this case, if I want to change that part here, hard-coding it is not a good thing. So what I would suggest is allow people to change it. So in this case, I just hard-coded it as a default. Let me reload. There I have 1,000. Right, let's mint now. Alright, this is about identifying user ID. Okay, I'm going to ignore this for now. Don't think it will affect what we are doing. Right, you see that token name now is coming up. I changed it to token X name here, which is number 211. Uh, 211, there it is here. It is this one here. Then I follow it up. You can actually see if I can find many of them. Oh, there are so many of them. Replace that one. No, that one is fine. That one needs a replacement. You see this part? It's going to throw the same error again. Let's move to the next one. Okay, that one is fine. Token name, let's leave that one. Admin, token name, we leave that part. Okay, let's test again. I have token name That object I removed, yes, this is 229. There we go. Okay, let's mint again. You can see we are bit by bit eliminating the Web2 normal bugs that we normally encounter. And you can see I've managed to fix that thing. Now I've managed to get right and fix those bugs. Now you can see it is running. Our smart contract is running. This information you see now here, info script, whatever, line number 16, it is on chain now. So which means we have succeeded with those problems. We have even gone to the on-chain part. But this part now, we are almost at the end. It says inputs do not conform to these specs and are otherwise invalid. Okay, it is not one cause. It's not caused by one thing. It can be caused by the metadata, by the names that we supply. Right. Normally, from the experience that I have, it is caused by the name we are giving to the metadata 721 here. Right here, there was a hex name. There was a name, token name. This token hex name is byte. The 721 standard is expecting a string for this name. This is what I suspect first because I've encountered it many times. So what we need to do is to collect the token name, which is not byte. So when we go to this, we have the token name. You can see here token name. There it is. So let's get another hidden control for the actual token name. This must assist you also when you are working there to say, okay, if Mr. Spanda can do it, I can do it too. Because I have no teacher. I research and I get these things done up until they work. So there we have this part. It is there. Then we go to the JavaScript part. Then here we are going to have token name. This one is the readable, human readable token name. Let me check if here we are having, you see here we don't even have a key for the actual token name on the metadata. We don't even have it. It was supposed to be there. Me edit. So when adding it, I'm not introducing a part. Sometimes when you add things, you introduce parts. Sorry. So there it is. So now let me define this variable here. All right, let's JLog. Please always put this short thing here. This is a handy tool. It's a very handy tool. Okay, now let's move on. Let's mint. Right, this mint, let's click our mint. Right, inputs do not conform to specs, otherwise invalid. Right, let's check again that 721. We fixed this one, the token name. We can check this part here. This is where this is handy. You can see we have traveled quite a distance. Now we are having some bugs. So this is handy now. So we inspect this object here. If you didn't put the JLog, you are not going to see these issues. The first thing to check is the token name. Yes, it is the thread token. So here I am supplying a thread token. Check the script. This script that I have here. It is the minting of user shares, not the thread token. So there is already a conflict. The script that is running here is shares, but the name here is the thread token. Look at this name here. It's not supposed to make an error, but it's already an error. It's supposed to say user token. That is the first thing that I identify there. That normally creates a problem with this, that error that we see here. The next one that normally creates a problem. This is the author. To start here. Let's take out that name that we added here. That I said could introduce a bug. Take it out, we test, we see if we can still get that input problem. Okay, we are almost there. But inputs still do not conform. Right, our 721 object, let's check again. You need to be patient when you are going through this and checking. Right, I've got a deadline time. Is it not supposed to be a string? I never had it an issue before when it was working. Another issue that could happen is you are looking for a bug at a wrong place. Check if this gives you the what? The line number. Go to that line number to make sure that what is causing the issue is correct. So this is 747. Right, 747 is this one here. So it is after running this definitely. So the issue could be here. First, and then this is the buy sell script. Another quick way of eliminating, because the first thing we need to eliminate before we go somewhere else is to make sure that we follow the standard here for 721. What happened? Remember, this 721 is optional. We can plug it out and see if the error is coming from there. This now requires us to go to the coxlib where this function is, where it is created. Normally, when you are working, most of these errors you are not going to find, because that is the purpose of this session, to find these bugs, fix them before they get to the users. So here what I want us to do is to comment out this 721 metadata part, which is this one, because it's not a must that we should edit. So let me comment it out. If it runs, then it will confirm what I said, that the problem is with the naming there that is involved. Let me run it. Okay, so the problem is still there, and I have disabled that part. Inputs do not conform to the outputs. Then let's check this stack trace. No, we are still there. Inputs do not conform to the specs, otherwise invalid. Right, let me check that the coxy lib that I changed is the one here that is referred to, because sometimes it's an issue of cache, because that coxy lib and the Helios are cached. So that's another step where you need to come here onto your network and inspect your imported files. Like, where is the coxy lib here? Let me come to the sources here. Where is the coxy lib? Yeah, there it is. So on the coxy lib, then I go to that and check that it is changed, because the cache can play around with you. Right, which function are we running? We're running this function here. Yeah, this is the function we're running. Let's go down to the TX. Yes, it is actually commented out. So which means the problem is somewhere else. And to run it one more else, then we change. Then it means that part is not the problem. Let's run that one to get this again. Alright, so which means this part is not the issue. Right, let me show you the input part of a transaction. The first one is the script we have attached. If we attach a wrong script, we are bound to get that error. Okay, here we are expecting a user script. That is one thing we need to check on the scripts that we are supplying here. That is the first one. We are supplying two smart contract scripts, this one for minting users, and then this one for buy sell token. Let me just check here. The buy sell token is referenced properly. There we have it. Right, the other in is the UTXO, this one here. So we are supplying UTXO from our wallet index, the first one. So from our wallet here, selecting the first one. That is a second input. This is an input. So let's go down here. The second input is this one. Let's say check if we have got a redeemer there or another input. Yes, we've got a redeemer. Where is it? Where is it supplied? It is supplied here. Here is the third one. So the third input is this one here. Okay, supplying the tokens, which is this one, and the redeemer. So those are the three inputs. If any of them, and this one again that I've commented out, if any of this is a fault, we get that error. So what I'm going to do now, which is a great technical exercise like this is demanding, I'm going to pause, we take a break, and during that break, I'm just going to check quickly and fix that error. After 5 minutes or so, then you will come. Then what we are going to do, we will carry on onto this part where we mint tokens. Okay. For a user, this is going to be flawless and it's going to be working because this session we are doing is exactly for finding and fixing this because this was recently created. Yeah, we are almost done now. Almost done because the moment you see this logging of the on-chain part showing you that your quantity 300 is correct, this is the asset you are minting. How many of these am I minting? 300 of them. Value minted. The value minted is 0. It must say false or true. The moment it says true, then it will give us the pop-up box to sign. The moment it says false, then we are going to check the logic. The one of these conditions will be wrong. You can see here, this is same as this one. So far, the on-chain part is not showing us an error. It is on the input part. Right, thank you. Let me pause the recording, then we will carry on from here.